Today we play golf.
Let me show you how we do it in the pros.
Welcome to Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
I never miss with the 7-iron.
A conversation with some of the most interesting innovators and entrepreneurs behind the biggest names in golf.
My friends with the golf clubs. I lived on the golf course. I lived on the driving range.
From pro talk
You should learn something from each and every single round you play in.
to fun from on and off the green.
Why would you play golf if you don't play it for money?
Just let me put the ball in the hole.
This is Behind the Golf Brand Podcast with Paul Liberatore.
What's up, guys? Paul from Golfers Authority. Welcome to the Behind the Golf Brand Podcast, episode 56. This is the first one of the 2022 year. Super excited to have a real friend of mine, Troy Stewart from HandUp Gloves. Troy and I have been friends for probably about a year and a half, 2 years, I would say. And I mean, he's like a real friend. Like, we talk all the time. I'm really excited to have him on the show and talk about HandUp. HandUp originally started as a mountain biking glove company and then has now moved to the golf space. They're just good people and they make cool ass gloves, and you guys gotta check them out. So without further ado, Troy, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me on. Glad to be here.
So fancy. Troy, where are you guys located?
We're in Chattanooga, Tennessee, so a little southeastern-based company. Not a big deal.
What's the story with HandUp? So when did it start? Like the original brand?
It started in 2014. We, like Paul said, we are a cycling first company. We are not wanting to be that way forever. Excited to branch out into both golf and ski and snow. But we started in 2014, did start with a cycling glove. The idea was to create something really minimal and make it really fun. So we made cycling gloves that were American flags and floral Hawaiian designs and all that kind of stuff. And then instead of just making like black, red, or white or whatever. So we've been doing that since 2014.
Yeah, but you're being a little modest here. All right, so here's the real story, because I know it. 'Cause I know Cody, who's the boss.
You tell it better.
So this is what I heard, which I think is cool. Like, Cody and his wife has a really cool idea to make a golf or a mountain biking glove, because in mountain biking, which I learned from these guys, is very similar to golf, where you have the big brands and some of the designs are boring, and so they decided to start their own thing. And Troy, didn't you meet him at a bike shop? Like, weren't you working at a bike shop?
Yeah. I was just a bike shop college kid going to school for marketing. He gave me my first
marketing
marketing
friends,
internship.
right? And he's like, hey, I'm going to do this. And then you're like, okay, cool. Like, he's being super modest, right? So, like, this is what I know. So, like, HandUp was like nobody, startup, like everybody else, but just in the mountain biking world, and they freaking blew up. And, like, their only real big competitor is who? I know it is. It's Fox, right?
Well,
Really?
that's somewhat true. We have some people that are copying us and all that good stuff, but
Well, that always happens.
copying's not the right word. They're just doing stuff similar.
They're copying you. That's
similarly.
like that is the right word. I mean, come on, bro.
No, we have people that are our size, but there's basically three big brands. So you've got, or four, excuse me, Fox, Troy Lee Designs, 100% and Giro. And we actually a year ago beat out Giro on like a survey of, what the next mountain bike glove would be. So I would say we're easily in the top 4 of all the big options. And Fox has been around forever. I mean, even if you don't,
Yeah, they're
bike,
huge. I mean, that's
but-
like massive.
Yeah.
That's like Ford, right? Like, they've been around forever.
Everyone should have, like, if you don't know what Fox is, like, I promise you've seen the sticker. They've got a history in the
Dude, I had a
moto
Fox.
world.
I had a Fox sticker on my Isuzu Rodeo back in.
Yeah, just because it's
1992,
Fox,
so,
like, you gotta have it. It's it's just synonymous with like being outdoors and being off road, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I'll maybe quit being modest. Like, we have 30 professional athletes. I've got a former Tour de France rider. We've got a back-to-back national downhill champion. We've got World Cup teams. So it has blown up from like a spare bedroom like brand that we got going, or Cody and Jamie got going, and I came on to very early, to now like a respected part of the cycling industry. But with everything, we just have ridden bikes for so long and talked bikes for so long, we wanted to do something different. And our entire brand is about just as much about biking as it is drinking, being off the bike and enjoying like a social portion. So the golf world was perfect because We've all got beer in our carts. Let's just be honest.
Duh. I mean, if
That's-
you don't, you're gonna buy it from the cart girl.
Right.
So that, I mean, this is my. So here's the story here. This is the true story. So True and I become friends, like, I don't know, it was like 2 years ago, and he's like, hey,
Right.
we're coming out with this glove and this towel, and we want to send them to you. And I looked at him like, oh, it's cool. You have an Arizona one. So I'm like, oh yeah, cool. We become friends, right? We talk for like an hour or two, and then they sent it to me, and then Cody, like, I don't know what that was, like probably October, but
Yep.
for mountain biking.
Probably
They're
for a
in
mountain
Tennessee.
biking event. Right.
Yeah, they're doing like a tour because they're from like Nevada, right, or something.
Yep.
And so
Marina.
they were coming down to Phoenix. I think there was some kind of bike event here. And so we had coffee, and we hung out at like the coffee shop at my house at the Starbucks, and like totally hit it off because like they're just cool people. I didn't understand the parallels between golf and mountain biking, right? And even though they're completely different sports, they're very similar, right? Because the price point, the loyalty. Once you're addicted to it, you're addicted to it. Like it's one like
Sure.
I was like, holy crap, like the price point is what really blew me away too, because it's like it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
cheap to be into mountain biking at all. Like, and I'm not talking about just the bike. It's like all the other stuff you have to buy. Right?
Yeah, and that's something we're pretty against, but it's, you can see that reflected in all of our pricing. But yes, I mean, there are so many similarities. It's unreal. I mean, when we started getting into golf, I was blown away by, I mean, you can go buy a used set of clubs for $1,500 or less. Just something to get the job done, right?
You said no, bro.
What? Yeah, I mean, I was
What are you
gifted
gonna get? You
my
said
set.
PXGs or something? What?
I got tailor-made burners, so I feel like that is the like Honda Accord of golf clubs. Like everyone's had them.
Those are really good clubs, actually.
I love them. I think Honda Accords are great cars, so it all makes sense.
Dude, I drove a Civic. So like, it was stick shift when I was in law school.
You're the step down, bro.
I was scared to death driving that thing. It was so fun to drive.
What's the Honda
and it holds
Civic
value.
golf club?
Like it never went down in price.
What's the 90s Honda Civic golf club equivalent?
Probably like Ping or Ping Red Eye 2s. I don't know. That's what my dad had. Like
Yeah.
That's probably a higher end. That's probably like a Cadillac back then.
And then
I don't know.
all my new golf buddies are getting Titleist clubs, and I'm like, that's got to be like the BMW or the Mercedes. Like,
I think PXGs are.
Oh, really?
Expensive.
Okay. See, I'm learning.
I like PXG. Like I like them from afar. I'm actually getting fitted up for a set this morning or this afternoon, like to try out, right? To see if I like the Titleists or the PXG better. I've learned a lot. I'm like starting to geek out a little bit on like equipment, like more than normal, because I'm really starting to understand like all these little like facets of like why things matter, right? Because you hear all this talk, but then it's like I'm learning about like why weights matter in the head and the shaft and the right grip. Like, yeah, you all hear this, but until you actually have it and you see, you're like, oh my god, this game is so much easier than I thought, right? Like because you realize you have the wrong equipment, like for reals, and it's not all. Some of it's bullshit hype. Don't get me wrong, but like some of it's like legitimate. Like, oh, that club is too flexible. The shaft's too as much flex in it, or the head is not. It's a bad head design, and this is why. Like, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I don't know.
But do you think that golf? So this happens in cycling. Like, do you think that golf? There's a mentality where more money equals better play, as far as gear is concerned. Because in the bike world, I mean, when I was at a bike shop, I used to say something to the effect of like, you can buy speed. That is true, but like half a percentage faster, right? Not, like, so marginal, it's barely worth it, but it is the case. And sometimes it's a little bit more. So how much, I mean, it seems like a world where I could be convinced to buy some big driver thinking it's going to, take me the distance. And if I don't know how to swing it, that's not going to help me at all. But how many people get sold on that?
Everybody. I think here's my honest opinion. I think heads are developed every year. And there's a lot of marketing hype on that. I'm going to tell you my story. Here's a true story, okay? This is my opinion now. So like 2-3 years ago, I bought a really super high end of Titleist irons. Like I bought them used, right? But on offer up. And they were like still $750, like $2,000 set of iron. And like the guy who told me, it was just hilarious. He's like, "Oh, I bought these because Jordan Spieth was using them and he won with it, and I'm a new golfer, and I just realized I suck and these didn't work for me." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm getting these things for $750." I was all excited, dude. I couldn't even use them if my life depended on it, right? Like, and so then I started realizing that like even though it's super high end and it's like really fancy, I just can't hit it. Like I can't hit blades. That's the first thing I've learned. Like I'm not that good. Like the sweet spot's not big enough for me, and so I think. Unless you play a lot and you're good, then yeah, you could, nothing against blades. Don't get me wrong. I'm not good with them. Now some people say, well, you could, if you're trained with blades, then you can use them and you can be really good at it. All the pros use it, right? Yeah. So I think it depends on like what your skill level is and how much time you really have. Because in the end of the day, like you just want to hit the ball in the grass, right? So it's like, I mean,
it's the same. I mean, it's the exact same thing in the bike world. It's like then all these little nuances of a carbon fiber frame or something like that. It's like for the average Joe, the average weekend warrior, just get the middle of the road stuff and move on with your day, I guess. I don't know. It's very interesting to me. Also, I'm sorry I've gotten us like completely off topic.
No, it's fine. So like here's the thing too, is like talking to the guys at Devereaux about this the other day. I was at their office and I was like, I felt like people you can have the most fanciest set of irons in your bag, right? Whatever they are, or whatever, right? And people are like, "Oh man, you got the whatevers," and then you suck, right? So it's almost like it doesn't matter how good your stuff is in your bag and how fancy it looks in it.
Right.
If you go with the ball and you suck, they're gonna be like, "Why do you have that?" You're cool for about 1 second, and that's about it. And then everyone realizes that like you don't need those things. And I'm coming to a point now where I just want clubs that like are made for me and that make me have more fun, essentially.
Yeah, I mean I found a putter at a thrift store that was definitely just one that was like in somebody's office. It was like a for show putter, I guess, because it was actually wrapped or covered
Happy
whatever.
Birthday Brian on it.
No. It says like it's like from the Pepsi Corporation, and it was like covered in gold, like 24 karat gold. And
no,
it was
it's
just like
not a thrift store.
Oh, I'm serious, dude. It was like an estate sale or something. But it's like the lightest bit, right? So it's hilarious looking because it's just solid gold. I'll send you a picture of it.
Over the top.
But it's fun. It's fun. I like taking out of the bag. It works. Like I'm not a great putter, but it works just as good as all the other shit I've had. And it's just great. I just love having it. And that's, I don't know. That's obviously another extreme example because I'm not even sure this putter was like built to be on the course. I'm sure it was just built to sit in an office. But I think like to myself often, what if I got really good with this? Because I could with an amount of time, and then I'm just a rock solid putter with a gold like novelty putter.
You're so funny, dude.
Yeah, that's the goal. Funny. So, anyway.
Yeah, I just think I agree. Just too much hype around
the gear. Yeah, the gear world is weird. So let's talk about gear. Let's talk about HandUp gear, I guess.
Oh, let's talk about gloves. Okay. Good transitions, Troy.
No, I'm kidding. Well, I'm not, but
no, you.
I'm going to apply all this logic to our glove too. So don't worry.
So that's the story of HandUp. If you need your bike fixed, Troy will fix it.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
So you guys started HandUp, and you guys obviously blew up in the mountain biking world. Like they really did. If you go, this is the best freaking. I love this story. So here's another story. We talked about this too because like they started a second Instagram account, right, for golf, didn't you? And so like a nobody account, right, with like no followers, with a couple pictures of gloves, and like he was telling me when we first started talking, he's like, look, I talked to all these like quote unquote influencers, and they're like, oh, they look at my account and they want to charge me money and all,
right?
Like, typical bull crap, right? And so like. But little do they know, like, he's from a bigger company, right? It's just like, they're so stupid that they didn't even, like, go check. Like, oh, it's the same name, but it says something a little bit different. Like, so essentially.
Well, I think we have it in, I should know this, but I think we have HandUp, the main account in the bio, which has, like, 45,000 followers.
And it's full of, like, cool pictures and, like, tons of, like, professional mountain bikers that are, like, they're ambassadors, and then like they don't even pay these people, right? Like they just like their gloves and they're cool people, right? So It's so funny because he's like, yeah, no one wants to review it and no one wants to talk to us, and I'm like, welcome to golf, like it's like people
even
want
other
to get
companies,
paid.
it's the season of like collaboration and doing fun stuff. Even local people like, hey, do you want to get together and play? Just talk. It doesn't even have to be business related,
No,
but
it's not funny.
nothing, so it's, I
It's
actually
just
started.
so funny. I mean, it's not funny, but I guess I'm trying to show like people like what it's really like. Like
Of course.
I mean, we do it
That's a
differently.
good,
And
good
when I
way to
told
show
him,
it.
I said, "Hey, look, dude, I don't charge for that shit. Like, I just don't."
Yeah.
So, like, and then we became friends, right? And he's like, "Okay, come on, send me
Right.
this stuff. Oh, that's cool. You have an Arizona flag golf glove." I'm like, "I want that. I want to try it
Yeah.
out." And like that was literally it. I don't know even what the right word is to describe what that's like, but I mean, it happens all the time. And
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, like you like the story. I mean, obviously I'm biased. I like the story, but I think, look, we make a glove that's good enough to ride like down a mountain. I mean, if you see these downhill guys, it's hard to walk up the tracks. It's like riding your bike off a cliff. We make a glove good enough to hang onto your handlebars and do that. So we know gloves. And
you don't like you're a glove company. Like that,
Right.
that's like if Asher or like Palm decided to make a mountain biking glove and they're called it like Asher
Sure.
mountain biking. People are like, "Oh, whatever, you're mountain bike." Like you don't know
I think they
anything,
make
but you're a glove
great.
company.
Right. I mean, yeah, both those companies make wonderful golf gloves, but I just, it's nothing against them. I don't think they could transfer into the mountain biking world. Whereas I think we have paid attention to gloves across a lot of sports and what it takes to,
Well, you don't just
feel
do
good in
mountain
them.
biking. Like they
No,
do
we do
like
ski and snow as well.
snowboarding and
Yeah.
yeah, like they're that's just so funny because you're a glove company, right? Like a successful glove company coming into the golf market, right?
Yeah.
Which is saturated, right? I mean, you have
Totally.
the brands, I don't count the big brands, right? Like the big boys, but like
We're never going to
mid-size,
beat like
the Ashers
yeah.
or the Palm. Like, I'm friends with both those brands. Like make
Yeah.
excellent gloves, good people,
Great stuff.
And then there's all these new brands that are coming in, you know, trade secret, like it's like they all get essentially the same people, right? Like,
Yeah,
there's so
and
many
I think
manufacturers overseas that make gloves.
right. I think those
But
guys, so like Asher and Palm, have like done a really, really good job, and I certainly respect them. But the sort of next tier, which I think we're at right now, it's not that I don't respect them. It's just that like they are not bringing even mildly close to the amount of knowledge that we're bringing to the table, and certainly not the story. I mean, I think when I see other brands pop up, it's like, we want to disrupt the golf. It's like, that's okay. I mean, we're doing that too,
How?
but yeah,
How are you
other
disrupting
than
it?
making like a funny golf glove? Whereas
There's very
we're
few brands that are
already-
really disrupting golf. Let me tell you that. Like if there
Yeah.
are, I talk to them because I'm like, that's cool. Like my
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. You're disrupting. This is why I thought you guys were doing something cool. Like even your glove was like super cheap, right? And I was like, yeah,
Right.
like super cheap, not super cheap, like, but I mean cheaper than a normal glove you'd buy.
Sure.
It's not $20+, right? Let's put it that way. So
Right.
I mean like, but it's like in any other sports, like you come in at a lower price point, people think it's crap, right? So it's like this weird
Sure.
balance. Like, do I charge what I want to charge because I think it's a good price for what I'm doing, or do I charge some inflated price because of what everyone else does, and it makes it so that the market doesn't look like I'm a piece of crap,
Yeah.
right? Like,
It's a tough call. We did that with bikes though. So we were like, the comparable bike glove was 35. We came in at 26. Now our glove is quality. We've proven that over the last 7 years or whatever the hell the math
Yeah.
is, about almost 8 years.
What you're trying to do is just like, you can come in at a lesser price point.
Yeah.
But like mountain biking gloves are $35. Golf gloves aren't. Right. I mean, you get a nice
Yes.
Asher glove for $22, right? $24. Same thing with Palm, right? And and they're nice gloves. But the thing is that like if you come in under that $20 price point, then it's like golf balls. You come in under a $20 price point on a golf ball, then people are gonna be like, oh, golf ball's garbage. It's $20 because the Pro V1 is $45, and it's like, I mean, like,
Right. But I think
it's a weird balance. It's like hard to figure out where that is in any market.
well, and then I think it's, this is probably a little too harsh, but it's almost like a moral obligation not to like price gouge people. And we do that in the cycling industry. We don't price gouge people. We charge a very fair price in the cycling industry. So I think we want to bring that to golf too. Like in the current climate that we're in, there's a ton of talk of, being inclusive and stuff like this. Like nothing is more exclusive than gear, costing, having to refinance your home to afford the gear to participate in a sport. So we're trying not to do stuff like that. For example, in the bike world, a jersey might be $120, which is, I mean, I'm sure there's polos that are like that and stuff. There's all sorts of stuff that probably hits that there's, interchangeable between the sports. But for us in the bike world, you could get a set of gloves, shorts, a jersey, and socks for $120. So one jersey or a full, kit to go ride your bike in. So that's what we want to be. We feel like that's actually inclusive. That actually grows the sport because cycling is very.
It's not being inclusive. You're not. It's like, especially when you look at golf now. Like golf has grown so much in the last 2 years, like massively.
Right.
That like people, you can't keep on charging these exclusive prices that make it harder for people to play the sport. Like when they're spending $400 for a set of clubs, like at Costco, which is just as good as your set that costs $3,000 potentially. Sure. That person really care? No, they want to go play golf with their friends, right?
Right. And then you got to go pay to play and stuff like that. I mean, that's
you still got to pay to play. I didn't even think about that. You go mountain biking, you're just gonna go mountain bike, like you go anywhere essentially.
So they get you on the front end by charging like $6,000 for a bike.
Yeah, you have to be in that sport. The parallels between golf and mountain biking are like exact. It's just It was so weird. I heard, I was like, oh my god, this is just like it. It's just different, but it's the same. Like, when did you guys decide to come into the golf space then? 19?
Well, I mean, it was only I think it was 2019 or so. And again, I think I said this at the beginning. Like, it was totally based on us being interested in golf. It wasn't a business
you're a bunch of golf guys, dude. You're just like I know because you guys play golf from uni every Thursday or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Like during the summertime. I mean, you get that men's league or whatever where you guys would just get drunk and play golf. Like that's what they did, right? And they're like, oh, we should have a golf company. Like it's just so cool because the transition is like seamless, right? Like
sure, and
like,
the manufacturing
affordable golf
was
equipment
there.
Essentially.
Yeah,
that's the hard part. Like, but that's the thing. It's like the balance, right? So it's like we want to make affordable golf equipment, but we don't want people to think it's shitty, right? And like the mindset, and it's like where is that? And I think people come into this thinking I'm gonna go make a whatever product and charge what everybody else charges right now, which is X dollars, right?
Right.
But then it's like again, you're just playing right back into the same system that's already there.
Sure. I mean, look, a company I really like, I mean, you know me, I'm a big like fashion guy and stuff. Outside of that, don't really look at much today. Just got a big black sweatshirt on. But a company I really respect is Lululemon. They develop all their materials like it's, they charge a high-end price. But if you look at what they've done as far as the athleisure technology go, or not even athleisure, like athletic clothing, the technology, they made it. And now, they're actually competing with Nike, like the welding of the seams, the way it's all cut, where they put zippers and stuff. Like it's all, really impressive stuff. So that kind of stuff I think is worth it. But when the random, some Tulsa, Oklahoma lady buys a bunch of, sweatpants from China and is like, well, I'm going to name it something fancy, get someone to make a logo, and then I'm going to charge $130 for it too. That blows my mind. Like that's silly. We are not going to do that. Even though we have a leg to stand on, more of a leg to stand on than just saying, we just ordered a bunch of golf gloves. Here they are. We have, we developed it.
We're cool.
Right?
Just I spent so much money developing stuff last year that like never made it to market. So I'm like, this is garbage. I would never buy that.
Yeah. Like, the price to get it right is a real barrier unless you just want to put out like random.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're doing this yourself, like any startup, like it costs your own money. It's not like someone's paying you. It's not like you have a bucket of money to spend.
Yeah.
But I mean, after you see like any of these companies, like, you just grow. You just kind of grow per each round of product you make and go, oh, we're going to get rid of that. That sucked. Sure. We're going to get a new manufacturer.
And I mean, you've seen that with us. Our golf glove has completely changed from when we first put it out. It's brand new.
And you sent me a small one. I was pissed off at you. You're like, no, like for reals, you did. Like, you guys sent me, I'm like, I'm going to do unboxing for you. It's like a year and a half ago. And he sends me a damn ass small, like a cadet small. Like, it's so small. And I was like this. I was like fat man with a little coat on my hand. And I was like, you know what I felt like? I felt like O.J. Simpson, right? I was like, if it don't fit, you must have quit. Because it was that small. And I was like, oh, like, and then I had to stop the video. And I was like, I had to hold it a different way because I couldn't put it on my hand.
I'm only sending you XL from now on. You're going to be swimming in it.
I got big hands. No, I don't have big hands. I think I'm a large. Because I think XL's too big. And I don't know. Dude, gloves are a pain in the ass. I'm trying to tell you how big of a pain in the ass the gloves are.
Oh,
right?
I know.
Because, like, first of all, you got to come up with a design, right? We'll talk about your designs in a second.
Yeah.
I know by experience, okay? But, like, there's a million freaking sizes to gloves. You think there's a million sizes to clothes? Try gloves, right? How many sizes are there? Extra small, medium,
Well,
large.
I mean, there's double extra small, and then there's XXL. Yeah, then all your standards, and then
Plus
in
the
golf,
cadets. If people
there's
ask,
cadets.
oh, you have a cadet size? I was like, what the hell's a cadet size?
So
Like, oh, it's an in-between size. I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me.
let's talk about that real quick because that's really an interesting thing to me. Cadet sizing is so weird because I mean we have sold as you know I mean there's probably a million hand-up gloves out there or maybe just shy, maybe a little more, but there are a lot of hand-up mountain biking gloves out there. We don't make cadet mountain bike gloves. You know what I mean? Like we've sold gloves to so many people for so long and I've never this is like the only sport it seems that there's like this weird extra size. So we have no intention of making it as far as I know right now.
No freaking way, dude.
Yeah.
I made those gloves last year and somebody goes, oh, do you have cadet sizes? And I was like, no, just freaking deal with it. Like, oh, it's off by like a half inch. You're not spending that much money anyways. Like, why would I have a whole nother bunch of sizes that because Cody helped me. I did my first round of gloves. Like Cody told me, like, okay, I'm like, what sizing should I do, like percentage wise, right? When you buy an order, and he's like, I do this. So I did that, right? But like, here's the thing, like, and it worked. He's brilliant. But the thing is, though, like, nobody buys smalls and nobody buys extra larges. I'm telling you right now, like, that's what I had left essentially. So
Right.
it's like, you know, and I don't know. It's just funny because everyone buys medium or large. I mean, nobody buys extra large. Like, nobody.
Right.
Like, for reals.
Yeah.
And you've 1,000 of them.
Well, because it's going to stretch a little bit. I mean, you can get it. I mean, you probably can't stretch a small to a large, like when in the case of the bad sending glove.
You gave me a child's glove, dude. What are you talking about? You really
But-
for reals did.
I don't, you know, but all I'm saying is we've sold a lot of gloves and we've never needed a cadet size. And I'm not convinced that that's a thing that anyone needs. And it just kind of loops right back into the bullshit that we're sold in any industry. And look, I could be totally wrong. We could be making cadet sizes in a year, but right now it doesn't make any sense to me currently. And that's why we don't have them, you know, for folks listening, I guess. Yeah.
I think you should do that for people.
We'll see.
No, like for reals, I really think you should. You should have a line called the Paul line, and then
And they're all just an inch shorter.
like you.
Whatever.
Dude, I've known Troy for a while. I could talk crap to Troy.
Yeah. So you were saying you wanted to hear about the designs?
Yeah. Let's transition to that.
Oh my God.
Sure, they make cool designs because like because here's the thing, when they first sent me the designs, like their first run, right? Because that was your first run of gloves, and
Right.
it was like, holy crap, like these are cool as hell because like the printing was really good. I think you at the time you'd done like Arizona, Tennessee. Some,
Yeah, we
like,
did 3 state
random-
flags. So we did Tennessee, Texas, and Arizona.
Yeah, and then you did like
and then we
a
did like
pineapple or
6
something,
or
or
so-
you had
yeah.
bolts on one. I remember
Yep.
something like that, right? Tell me, like, so what's happening now? Because, like, you know, essentially, you guys were quiet for like 6 months, like redeveloping
Yeah.
the glove, and
Right.
like, because you're like, oh yeah, we can do this. This is cool. That was like a test, really, wasn't it? Like that first round to see, like,
Well, I mean, 50-50. So like we were putting something out that we thought was good, ready for it to be, you know, we wanted it to be, we thought it was good. It worked for us. We had some feedback that was like fairly negative, but it was just kind of like there was always like another variable involved. So someone would say like, I blew through my hand-up golf glove that I've been testing, but for what it's worth, I'm using like, you know, 2-year-old grips or something. You know, this happens in the bike world too. People will be like, I ripped up my glove, and I'm like, well, did you wreck in it? You know? Yeah. Oh yeah, I did.
oh, I
So
did
it's-
too. It's so annoying, dude.
Yeah. So stuff like
It's
that.
like because you got the wrong
happens.
size, like that factor. No, like
Yeah.
for real. It's like, oh, I was putting it on, and I ripped it. I'm like, was it the right size in the beginning?
How hard are you pulling this on? That's the
Like,
issue.
I mean, seriously, you ripped it? Like, like seriously? I'm like, you're so full of shit. Like, dude, I know you did. You used it. It's too small. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on,
Right.
dude. Like, I'm like, all right, I'll send you a new one. Here you go.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly. Damn, it must be. I didn't get enough coffee in this morning. Where were we going? I keep losing my train of thought.
This is what happens
Talking
when you're in
about
Tennessee.
I know you start losing it.
It's because he's going on vacation tomorrow. It's all he's thinking
I was
about.
just about to say that. I'm about to leave for New York tomorrow, and I'm just like not phoning it in with you per se.
Because we're
but
BSing for like an hour before we have the show.
No, talking about.
So you guys had these designs, and
we
then you
were
tested the
the old
market.
glove.
Let me ask this question. So then on the initial run of the initial, like, how many designs you have? Like probably 7 or 8, I think.
Yeah, I think we had 7 or 8, and those. Oh yeah, I remember what we were talking about.
Like,
now.
how big was that run though? Like, how many did you make? Like 100, 500, 1,000 of each one?
No. I mean, probably 1,000, maybe 1,500 or so. I mean, we were
in
like,
total,
this is our golf line. Yeah, this is our golf line to get started. You
sell out.
Pretty close. Yeah,
You
pretty
probably some
close.
random ass, like small and extra larges, like everybody else left over.
Yeah. But it wasn't, the feedback we got started to be like, there was a percentage of negative feedback that we got that we weren't like happy with.
Like what?
Well, people just going through it quickly,
that's
just kind of standard issue stuff that I think was probably not on us, but just not worth it. Because look, we're comparing it to the bike world where we have relatively no negative feedback. So we're like, well, we need to get there with a golf glove. Like, we need a good standard. So we went back and redesigned it, and we went with a full Cabretta leather palm this time instead of like a synthetic. It's still synthetic on the
What's
top.
the top made of?
It's still like a PU
you can't
synthetic
print
blend.
because you can't print on. I learned a lot about gloves last year, so right. So like,
Yeah.
first of all, you can't print on Cabretta leather. You can't. I
Right.
can't say that damn word. Never been able to.
I
But,
mumble
like,
it about half the time myself.
Like, why don't you call it something else? Like the good.
Yeah,
leather,
call it something
right?
else. Yeah.
But like, you can't print on it, which I didn't know that. And then it's called Lyrica. What's it called? The type
Lycra.
See, I don't know. I kind of know the terms, but you can print on that. Essentially, it's fake leather, right? Like, you can print on fake
Yeah.
leather, but you can't fill in real, like Cabretta leather. It's not fake leather. It's just not Cabretta leather.
Well,
And
it's
then
it's not like animal leather, right? Like, it's like a synthetic leather. But the cool thing
Synthetic,
about
yeah.
that is it feels really snappy and flexy. So I think it takes the comfort through the roof. You don't have to wait for the glove to stretch to, really feel comfortable playing around in it. It's pretty much good to go when you put it on. So it's absolutely my preference. So we do a lot of that here. Like, if we know gloves, we're thinking about them.
gloves.
We're hyper focused on the things that people like and don't like. For example,
I'll tell you what I learned about gloves last
Go ahead.
year. I'll tell you what I learned about gloves. I did a limited run of gloves. I wanted to test I just wanted to see. What I learned is people like black, people like white, people like designs. They really do. People do not like colors. That's what I've learned. Like people don't like G4 color crap, which they'll buy it if it's cheap enough. But like, I didn't know that. So like, you kind of test these things to see what people actually like, because
you look at G4 and you think they know what's going on. Their gloves are,
fuck that, man.
yeah, they're so expensive.
They're $40 for a damn glove, and it's like, that's not my audience. That's not who I am, right? I would never spend that much money on a freaking golf glove. Nothing against G4. I thought, all these cool colors, like, people are gonna want that. No, man, people don't want that. People want designs, like what you guys are doing, and want black and white.
Yep.
That's what they like.
So
they really like black, and they really like white. And you would be surprised. Like, that's it.
And I think that's something too that's kind of like interesting. I wonder, we all have inspiration with the hobbies that we participate in. So sometimes I do wonder, do people like white golf gloves because everyone they've seen before them has worn a white golf glove? It's like part of the uniform, right? So there's a part of humanity that says, I like the consistency. I'm not breaking any molds here. I just look like I want to go golf. I want to look like a golfer. And I want that. Therefore, I want like a nice, clean white golf glove. And honestly, that mentality fed into our new line because a lot of it is a white-based background with different designs on it. So we have sort of like a beachy design.
Cleaner. You can see the design, right?
Right.
Like,
we have a tacos and margs one. It literally just has like stencil art of tacos and margaritas and stuff. So there's all this flavor that's us.
That's cool.
Yeah, from 50 yards away, you look like a normal golfer. And look, we're us. There will be another hot pink floral we'll do stuff like that, but it's just going to be a minute, I think. So,
well, here's the thing, like when I say colors though, I'm saying like yellow, right? Or like an
right,
orange
solid
glove,
colors, yeah.
like those, a fuchsia, like the one. You look what Asher's done with like the browns, like it's beautiful, right? It looks really cool.
Yep.
I just think that's what I've learned, and I don't know. I
it takes a special person,
a minority in my opinion, but I mean, I saw it, right? Like I saw what's sold out. So here's the thing that's happening in golf though right now, like what's happened over the last 3 years, and I really feel like Bad Birdie like started the trend.
Sure.
Is that like design, right? Design in golf, like everyone's making polos now that have patterns. Like no one was doing that like 3 or 4 years ago. But like now, I like it. Everything's patterned now. People want to stand out on the course with what they're wearing, with what they have on their bag, what accessories they have with their bag, in their bag, whatever. I love it.
It's fun to be unique. Yeah.
And I think people want to be, and I think now that golf is not so exclusive, right? Because changed so much. Like honestly, dude, there is no the market for secondary clubs is like non-existent. You cannot find used clubs like anywhere. Like
really,
the price you can, they're like through the roof though. And I've talked to like big companies that do this like for a job.
Yeah.
And they're like, we can't find them anywhere, which I think is cool because really, I think there's so many new players. If you can get a used set of clubs, for $500 or less, or get the technology. Yeah, it's cool and it might help you hit a little bit further or whatever it is. Like honestly, dude, like clubs from 2-3 years ago are just as good. If you're a newbie.
No, I believe you.
I just think it's cool because of how you guys are stepping into the space and what you did last year is like the pattern, because no one was really doing patterns on gloves. I mean,
sure.
Palm has the pattern like in the fingers and on the wrist. That's like their signature look, right?
Sure.
But I'm saying like
great looking glove too. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're cool as hell. I know those guys for these 2.5 years. Their story's really cool too. They started on what's that thing? Indiegogo, but whatever it's called.
Oh, cool. I did not know that. Yeah, I mean, but what? Yeah, like we're bringing like the full pattern to the table. Where I think that sets us apart a little bit. I think our story sets us apart a little bit. But honestly, man, I'm glad you brought up Bad Birdie. I meant to say that in the beginning, just for like sort of ease of explanation. But we are the Bad Birdie of like the cycling world. So we're trying to move that excitement over to, the golf world and the way that we experience it. A big part of HandUp too is like the community experience, the putting on events that we've done for years and going to events and, showing up and having a beer with people and making the game fun, right? Growing the game, as everyone likes to say. So that's going to be something we bring to the table too as golf continues to grow. Like I hope we're traveling out to see you and we're going to a golf tournament or a golf expo, not just like a bike event. We're hitting golf on the way. I think that's what HandUp brings to the table outside of what I think is a really rock solid golf glove now.
No, I think what you guys are doing is cool. Like, are you guys still going to do those towels like you did that first time?
Yeah, we'll continue doing towels. It's all we as a company love to have like matching accessories and stuff. So, we have socks that often match the gloves, or if we don't do a sock, we do a jersey to match the gloves. So if you like the boldness of the glove, you can have a little bit extra. And I think a golf towel is the perfect, matchup there. But what I haven't sent you, I don't think this will ever match, but because it would be kind of weird, but we make apparel, and our pants that we designed for mountain biking to be sturdy and flexible enough to mountain bike really just look like a standard pair of, athleisure slacks kind of thing. So I think there's a ton of transfer there to get into some pants, and I need to send you some because I think you love them, and they are like $69 retail. I think every comparable pant is over $100 out there, from big brands that everyone would know on down to like smaller brands that are doing stuff like we're doing. So maybe that's another item.
Are all these gloves that are on the site right now, are these all the new ones that are coming out, or are there more?
That's all the new ones that are coming out. I think at least as far as the spring is concerned, as we start to sell through,
There's
I think
11
we'll
gloves
redesign
on the site right now.
Yeah, so that's the full new like 2022 lineup. Just like mountain biking, so we come out with like a spring lineup, and then pepper in a bunch of collaborative launches and one-off designs that we want to bring to market. Maybe an athlete has a signature glove or something. So as golf grows, we'll apply the same concepts and we'll do a bunch of really fun stuff. I'm just kind of waiting on someone really fun to work with to come along and then make like a collaborative glove or whatever. So yeah.
Who does the designs?
We brainstorm them together, and then Cody will typically put it together. We do have an in-house designer now. His name is Stosh, so he's helping me I'm our marketing director. Probably should have said that at the beginning. So I've like sort of a marketing assistant that splits his time between helping me out and then doing design. So 2 designers on staff essentially. But Cody, I think, did a lot of this lineup of designs. I'm sure we'll see what works and keep having fun and even do things that we know won't work, but we want them. That's kind of the fun of the smaller, more mobile, brand. We don't have to make 20,000 units to, sell to Golf Galaxy and every shop in America. We can still do some fun stuff right now. So that might change one day.
So what other products would you guys want, or are you guys going to stay in the gloves and towel area? I mean, right now you have one towel on the site. Are you guys going to make more towels this year?
Yeah, we're going to make more towels this year. So I think those are coming or being worked on. But so we got gloves and towels. We've got the pants that I think are totally doable. I don't know how far we're going to stretch into the golf world. There's like a huge oversaturation with polos. So in the early stages of this, we met Cricket Golf, and those guys were awesome. And we've had some communication with Bad Birdie, and they're wonderful folks as well. So I just don't know if there's a ton of interest there, but it's kind of you never know scenario. But I tell you what I would like to do is I would like for golf to continue on this sort of loudmouth, breaking the mold trajectory to the point where we're making like golf basketball jerseys to be worn out on the course, or something like I want to bring that kind of stuff to the market, not the same thing that everyone is doing. So of course golf will have to continue to change and be disrupted, I guess, as a sport altogether.
No, I think it's cool what you guys have done. I mean, really, you guys came into the golf space less than 2 years ago, right? And this is kind of like not your main gig,
Oh, not even close.
Like this is like 1%, not even 1%, right?
Right.
What you guys are doing, it's just coming into a new market, and like that's why I think it's cool that 1, you guys did it, and then 2, it's like, if anybody's going to be successful at what you're doing, it'd be you guys, just because you have the experience and you've done it for so long that it's not hard. It's not hard for anybody to start a quote unquote brand right now, because essentially all you have to do is build a Shopify store and then go buy stuff from China, right? I mean, but like to be a real brand,
that's 2 main steps. Yeah.
But, and you see that a lot now in the golf world, where there's a lot of up and coming brands, and you're like, dude, that's
nothing.
I've literally seen that same exact image on Alibaba before. It's like you can't sell crap. Essentially, don't sell crap.
Well, and then there's not like a brand to be a part of. There's not a story there. It's just a bunch of guys being interested in making their own thing. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much there. Whereas that's again why I respect the Ashers and the Palmcos of the world, because there was obviously like a real vision,
story
there, and a real story.
Well, that's the thing too. Like I've walked into brands' offices before, like these small, mid-sized brands. Like when you walk into a real brand, right? Like if I walked into your guys' place, I'd be like, holy crap, because it's one thing where you just buy stuff online and build a website. It's a whole other thing where like you're actually developing a product.
Sure.
You're coming up with concepts. You're rolling the dice. You think, it's part of your overall story. Like, you'll never be able to compete with people like that. I'm just telling you right now, like people out there in the world, because unless you want to build your own company, essentially.
Yeah.
But what's new for you guys then this year in golf? Just those gloves?
Yeah. I mean,
they're on the site now, but like, is that the spring drop, I would say?
It is. We try to have stuff on the site as early as possible. So those are like up for folks that are still out, braving the colder weather. But there's a planned like spring launch.
What are you talking about?
I know. We're not so lucky. That's going to be that's the spring launch, but we are going to sort of put it out more publicly. I guess this podcast is probably the first step in putting that out there more publicly. I think the big focus of this year is there's two things. So sort of growing a customer base, right? So brand awareness, letting people know that we exist, why we exist, and that we have a product that, they can be a part of.
You guys market to your mountain bikers? I bet you a lot of those mountain bikers. Like, it's
some
golf, or it's like you don't want to mix oil and water.
No, I mean, it is kind of an oil and water. I don't, as much as they are similar, there's not a ton of crossover. But we do market because everyone has like a golfer in their life, right? Just like everyone has like the weird uncle that puts on a bunch of spandex and rides road bikes every Saturday morning. So there's like that kind of crossover. I think our cycling audience knows we have it. I mean, it's on the site 100% of the time. But it's not something I push to the cycling audience. Yeah. I have I'm building an actual golf audience for us to work with. And you've been a big part of that. So it's been fun to like sort of reach your folks and just kind of let them know we're here. But the other big goal for the year is the more community-based thing. So there's a really cool league called LaFleur Golf that's up in Knoxville, Tennessee. And they reached out to us and wanted to work together on like some simple prizes. And I got to looking at them, and they have all these like hilarious traditions. They got a good crowd coming out to golf with them, and it's all, they just cover in their cost. It's super fun. It's just not stuffy. That's all it is. And so I'm working with them right now to see, how we can be involved in their community. Like, how can we help them throw a tournament? Can we supply prizes or whatever? And now there's a caveat there. They're actually making it fun and cool. They're not just like giving the close to the pin guy a pair of gloves and moving on. Like we're setting up a tent. We actually have our first HandUp golf tournament that we're attending. Is not actually a HandUp golf tournament. It's their tournament, but the first tournament we're attending as a sponsor and a vendor there on March 12th. So that's kind of the goal too, is to like get out and shake hands and crack beers with people and have some freaking fun, and
that's what a lot of these, that's what a lot of people are doing. And like, at least out here, or not, in the West Coast, I guess, like,
yeah,
Malvin has his league or his group.
Yeah.
The guys here in Devereaux and Arizona have their group. It's like,
there's one in Arizona
fun,
in Scottsdale, dude. That's like CPGA, or I'm trying to think. There's a guy I work with out there too. That's this like basically sponsored by Bad Birdie, and then this LaFleur group is a partner with Bad Birdie as well. I thought you might know who I was talking about. I cannot remember the name of it to save my life.
Well, Devereaux has their Valley Golf Club, golf something.
That's not it. I'd have to look. I'm gonna be on my phone for a second and figure it out.
It's so much freaking fun, dude. It's just so fun. Like, I think as golfers, as we get older and we have families, like, you just want to go hang out and have fun with people, right? That's all you really want to do. That's what golf's all about. And I don't know. I think having structured events where you don't have to put your own foursome together and like figure all that out, like you just go and have fun, like that's what we want, right? Like,
right. Well, and this is
crew essentially, like, I don't know, it's, you want to hang out with cool people.
Sure. That brings it full circle. That's exactly what's happened in the cycling world, and that's why we've been successful, is we have promoted that aspect of the cycling world as much as possible. The community orientation, this year I've been like, when you see a bike rider on the trail and you've got HandUp gloves on, and you see someone else and they have HandUp gloves on, like there's like this nod, like you people are fist bumping. Like I've had our professional athletes tell me this, and that doesn't happen with like the bike they're riding, the tires they're riding, like helmets, and that there's sort of a fun, there's kind of like a wink wink. You're out here to have a good time, huh? When you've got HandUp gloves on. And that's what we're going for, right? It's not a tech feature. I'm not on this podcast saying our gloves are the best gloves ever made. They're good, but they're not going to change your game. You're not going to swing better. It's just a good glove that's a nod to your personality, a nod to taking things less seriously and having a lot more fun doing it. And that's what we're after. I don't know if we'll ever be someone that sponsors someone on the tour unless like there's a John Daly kind of character. That's the kind of stuff we're after. And I know we're not the only ones doing that, but for the other reasons that we've talked about, like the expertise we brought to the table, that's what I think sets us apart in this space. By the way, it's the Casual Golfers Association CGA tour out of Scottsdale.
I'll look into that.
Yeah, check them out.
I'm a casual golfer.
Yeah, we all are.
I mean, like, seriously, people take this thing so seriously, like, so serious that, like, they don't, let's be honest, we're not that great, you know, like,
yeah.
To me, like, I went to a event with Devereaux back in November, and it was, like, the funnest. I've done 2 of them, and they're so much freaking fun. And it was just, like, hanging with cool people, and, yeah, I played like crap that day, but it was at a nice course. We had fun, you know, just a good time, and that's really what you want. And I think, like, outside of a quote unquote a tournament, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, as you get older, it's harder to find people to go play with. Like, you might have 1 or 2 friends that play, but, like, it's just different now as you have kids. You're a little younger than me, but, like, you know, unless men's league or something, but, like, that's why we do it. We want to go hang out and have fun. Like, give us 4 hours to rest.
And I want to do it. I want to do it without paying $75 to do it. I want to do it without being, like, condescended when I walk into a clubhouse, because, bro, that's part of it too. You know, the old guard that is, like, legitimately just dicks, you know, that make it so difficult. And this is
saw that this week, right?
Too.
With the Waste Management Open, like, media about all the stuff that happened. Like, hell yeah, I'm glad that happened. Like,
of course,
why not, right? And then
there's a very stereotypical person.
Oh yeah,
that
you see it.
Doesn't like that.
And then the other side, the old guard, it's like, oh no, that was bad for the game. Really? So what's good for the game? That we just continue doing what we've been doing for 1,000 freaking years?
Yeah.
Like,
we all tuck in our shirts. We wear pastel colors. We pay $200 to play around, and we get mad the entire time we're out there. That sounds like such a shitty way to go about this sport. So we are,
like, I'm glad that happened on the biggest stage. Hell yeah, I'm glad. I just think it's just funny. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, we did a poll on Instagram on Monday, like, hey, what do you guys think about the Waste Management Open? You know, we'd love to hear what you think about what happened, right? Whatever. And so, like, everybody was like, oh yeah, you know, it's about time, it's great, whatever. And then what happens is, like, if you post them on Instagram, usually a post on Facebook, right? Like, if you have it all connected. Dude, I had the complete opposite response on Facebook. I was like, oh, that was bad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, dude.
Look at the demographic of Facebook. It's all older. Yeah. It's all
I know.
older.
It was so funny because you just see it. And I was like, wow. Yeah. Like,
the same stuff happens to us. It's like, we do something funny on Instagram, and we've been doing TikTok media and posting it to Reels on Instagram. And it's like blowing the Facebook demographic out of the water. They, like, don't get it. They barely know how to watch it. And it's just like, it's fine. Maybe that media just doesn't need to end up on Facebook. But yeah, the responses that you get, like, jokes that land on Instagram do not land on Facebook almost ever. So it's just part of it.
Things are changing. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Everything's changing.
Yeah. So we want to be, listen, the exciting part of this for us is that we totally lucked into this, right? Like, we chose to go after a sport that we wanted to be a part of at a time where the way we would want to play it and be a part of it is changing, is moving that way. So as soon as, you know, sooner the better that things can continue to go that way. Like, I am praying for the day that I don't have to wear, like, khakis and a heavy polo to go play, and I can just walk out.
I swear to God, this happened, like, literally like a year ago. We were doing a video shoot at a course that my friend works at, like a GM there. She's like, oh, your cousin going to do a video shoot. So we did, and I come wearing, like, workout shorts and a T-shirt, and I'm like, I don't give a shit, like, whatever.
Right.
You know, and the guy I was filming with, who's a pro, you know, was wearing, like, the typical garb. And my friend goes, you can't wear that here. And I was like, you're joking, right? He's like, no, man, like, for reals. And I'm like, you're joking, right? Dude, I spent $200 in that pro shop that day on clothes that I would never wear in a million years. I'd wear it by a pair of pants. I'd wear his ugly ass Adidas, like, polo shirt I would never effing wear. And, like, I was miserable. I was like,
dude, this
still exists? Like, it blew my mind. I was like, you're being serious about this? Like, he's like, no, for reals. I was like, you're not even a private club. I'm like, you're semi-private. I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm like, anybody can say they're a semi-private club. That just means that they have people paying dues so they can play more than other people. Like,
right.
Yeah, true.
That's nothing actually different. No, dude, that's exactly. So road biking.
It blew my mind. I was wearing like workout pants and like,
yeah,
so whatever.
You can right now. You can go if you're a fan of road biking and you like the Tour de France. You can go buy the same bike they ride in the Tour de France. You can at least look the part. You can buy all the glasses and helmets and ride all the stuff and talk about it the same way. And it grows people's egos through the roof. Like the fact that you can look pro. And I've said this for years. It's like, I'm a huge Georgia football fan. Like, I can't put on pads and a Georgia football jersey and run out on the field on Saturday. Therefore, I'm just a fan. But I can put on like the airs of a pro cyclist and convince people and convince myself. And golf is the same way. You can go buy all this shit and then you can be like, well, I look the part and I know what to say.
I know. I've seen it. Like I've even seen it while playing with other guys, like at events. Like they'll have like a full like G4 outfit essentially, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, they 100% look the part, and they're in good shape, and like everything. I'm like, oh man, that should be good. No, they fucking suck. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, dude, everybody else, like, stop dressing up like you're better than you really are. Because at the end of the day, we all suck. Unless you're playing every day or you're on the tour, then you don't suck. But other than that, like, that's why I love what happened in the Waste Management Open, because I was like, I love those guys. It's
relatable.
Like,
it's fun. It's what we all want.
What do you think the whole Waste Management Open was even about? They're selling, like, you don't think it was gonna happen? You're giving alcohol like crazy. Like, I didn't go because of other reasons this year, but like I'll go next year. But my friend went, and he goes, they were in a tent for work. Dude, you know what the drink pass was? Like, the drink pass. It was a 10 maximum 10 drinks you got for free. Like, in the thing. He goes, dude, I was wasted after the third one. And, like, they're giving you 10 drinks. Like, you don't think people are going to have fun and go crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Come on now. Dude,
right.
Like, that thing is the biggest freaking party. Like, it's so much fun. But then you see the old guard, like at least on media-wise, like, oh, that was disrespectful to the game. Oh, right. Shut up. Whatever, dude.
Yeah,
Grandma.
that's...
Like, oh, okay, Cameron.
Yeah.
Well, but it's like, because they have to toe the line, right? And be like,
yeah.
That's bad, because our readership who buys our magazine would not like that. So we'll have to say that. Dude, whatever. Shut up. Like,
yeah. And for what it's worth, I meant to say this too, because I feel like I harp on people that sort of fit this mold. But if you want to rock a whole G4 outfit, that's awesome. Go for it. I don't mind that. What I mind is the attitude that you feel entitled to once you do that. That's the thing that hurts the game. You know, I've had experiences. I mean, I remember when I first started riding, and I would show up with guys like this, and it made me not want to ride a bike anymore or go on group rides. I was like, if this is how it's going to be.
It reminds me when you're like in junior high and everyone's supposed to become dicks, right?
Totally.
And like the kids that were cool in elementary school all of a sudden become a dick. And like they're the rich kids, or they have the nice clothes, whatever's popular, and you're just like, you feel like shit. You're like, oh, you know, I gotta have that same stuff. It's the same damn thing, dude. Like, so and it's not even about how good you are.
No. So if you actually want to grow the sport, if you actually want to, right, you need to be okay with gym shorts and t-shirts on the course, not wearing the right shoes, maybe not having a full bag. Like, you dress up when you go to the driving range? Yeah, freaking right, dude. You dress up when you go chipping and putting? Yeah, right. So why do you dress up and play a part when you're on the course with 3 other dudes you don't even know? Right? Yeah. Seriously. And look, the experience I have with this, it was somewhat off-putting, which is fine. Like, if they have got rules, it's fine. But this is my story, right? I go to the driving range. It's like 110 degrees in the summer here, 100% humidity. I've got on a tank top. It's not like ratty. It's not got holes in it. It's just a tank top. And the guy at the clubhouse is like, well, you know, I'm going to let you hit today out on the driving range, but like, don't wear that again. I kid you not. I walk out the door. The guy teeing off on the first hole looks like the dude, the main character in that Tiger King show on Netflix. Like, he looks like a crazy person. Bleach blonde mullet, jeans. Like, I'm like, where? I look normal. I just look like other than the sleeveless shirt, I look like a regular dude.
But imagine if you're a new player.
And you got like a crackhead on the first tee.
And you just got your used clubs or your set at Costco or whatever, right? Or hand-me-downs. You go to a course, and they're like telling you, oh, you're not dressed the part, so you can't play.
Yeah. I'd be done. I'd be done right there.
Like seriously, that guy's never gonna come back because he's
Right.
brand new, doesn't know anything. But it's like dumb. I don't
Yeah.
know. I just,
So
That's
to
my
not
opinion.
continue, beating a dead horse here, the point of Hand Up is to sort of push forward the other idea, the opposite of the stuffy traditional. And again, I know we're not the only ones doing that. That's not really the point here. We're sort of like joining the fight, I guess, and actually growing the sport, right? Or actually trying to, and get people in a good set of gloves while we do it. We did the same thing with mountain biking. The whole goal with cycling, and mountain biking in particular, was to get people to realize how much fun it actually was and relax a little bit. And it's hard to
Afford
be,
it, and afford
yeah,
it.
and afford
Get
it.
'em in.
But it's hard, We've got a pink and purple and neon Hawaiian print mountain bike glove. It's hard to be like, I'm a badass into that. Like, it's just fun. It says party time on the palms. We do all
Well,
the
that's what's
palm
happened.
stuff.
I think in the last 3 years in golf is that like it's changing. It's
Yeah.
changing. Like,
So we want to be a part of that change. That's the goal.
well, I'm glad you're on the show today. Like I said before, they're good dudes at Hand Up. You guys need to check out their gloves and other stuff too. I just say gloves because it's for golf, but
I appreciate that.
It's cool to see like a brand that's trying to change the game, coming from a place and experience that they know how to do that and to do it right. So I appreciate you being on the show today and being my friend, one of my real good friends. I have lots to say about Troy, but I'm not gonna tell him on the show, but they're all good. And you guys need to check out HandUp Gloves. What's your guys' URL so they can just Google it?
So it's just handupgloves.com. So, and it's HANDUP. A lot of people, you hear it and then they remember it differently, like hands up or whatever. It's just handupgloves.com. That's right. So handupgloves.com, and there's a golf section you can peruse and, take a look at the mountain bike section if you want. Look at it all.
Great. Well, thanks for being on the show, and I will see you. I will talk to you soon again.
Yeah.
And I will see the rest of you even sooner than that. So
Thanks,
take
Paul.
care.
Appreciate it. You too.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
You're gonna beat me at golf?
Stay connected on and off the show by visiting golfersauthority.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Golf is always more fun when you win.
Stay out of the beach and see you on the green.